Hey, I've seen y'all talking about the great sword lately, and I just figured maybe I could give you my 2 cents. Like, what I put together about the great sword so far, where my head's at, and maybe you can steal some stuff from my playstyle. It might not fit yours, but you can always steal something, I think, from everybody's shit. If you look close enough, you find something. This is what I run, basically. And I'm also going to go through just the basics of the great sword. Probably shit you've known for months, but just kind of like bear with me. Like, from the basics to where I get to my combinations, like the whole train of thought, right? So this is my build. When you're in the great sword, you're either in one or other stance. You're either in the onslaught, the red stance, which you're going to do 15% more damage. You're going to take 15% more damage, and you're going to swing twice as fast as far as, or 50% faster with a heavy attack, which is pretty awesome. Blue stance is pretty much the mirror opposite. Guard point gives you a shield in front of you when you're in blue stance, which I personally like. As you see, I actually have this turned off of my shield. Otherwise, you can't do that, and I'll explain like in a second. So this is like, how do you put all that together? This is, my head always falls on combinations in this game. So I have three basic go-tos with the greatsword. Now, first you get your skills, like, and where you're positioning. Basically, you want to be behind the mobs. You don't want to be taking damage. Once you're either, as soon as you enter into red stance, you're taking 15% more damage. It's pretty risky. So kind of move up behind them. My basic gather opening will always be a quick skyward. You don't have to crash it every time. Sometimes you just want the quick skyward, then you run over to where they all are, where you like, oh, here's Archer over here. Like, I got my red stance off this guy, but here's the Archer. I'm going to rupture him. And then you go into your damage mode. From here, you're in red stance and everything's cool. And when you do that, you do not get your third rend. So with the great sword, you get an extra rend if you're already in red stance with this guy, and you pull them together if you're already in red stance with this guy. So you tie it all together, like I said, with the combinations, and you think of it as what's more important to you, I guess, in that situation. Like I said, for gathering mobs at the beginning, often I will like crash that down. That guy can piss me off. Go to the archer, tie them together, and then go straight in. That's usually my go-to. That means I'll be in red stance when it's over, doing as much damage as I can, and kind of get behind it, being sketchy and doing my stuff. Then there is the boss mode combo that I go into, or single target, or down to just an archer in the corner. It's time for me to deal with him or a boss. You want that extra rend. So on him, you're going to want to open up with a rupture because you still want to have the debuff. Get your crosscut on. Now you do the extra rend and you stay in red stance for days. And you just do that extra damage. Gun them down or switch your hatchet or whatever your forte is, right? Then there's the third and final thing that I go to, which is I want to be in blue stance. I do this when I'm feeling a little sketched out, like Thor, birds. I used to love doing it on birds. I don't really run Great Sword so much, but I would do this against them right now because they kind of weird me out. But so basically, for them, you want to get that extra rend on if you want to be risky. Otherwise, you can just start blue and go at it. But I run up and try to get that third rend in on real quick. Then you go into the blue stance, and once you're in that mode, you do swing at normal speed. It's pretty slow. You do 15% less damage, but you have that nice little shield. And when they hit you, it's going to hit the shield first and not you. And it's not guaranteed. It's not a consistent thing. It's not good really for tanking, in my opinion, but it is a go-to thing to hide behind for somebody that's about to kick your ass like Thor or something like that. If you're going to have a great sword out, it does add a lot of value. You're getting a lot of damage off doing this, like, comparable to, if not better, than throwing hatchets, things of that nature. You are still doing, you're adding a lot of value. You're getting more than throwing a hatchet unless you're on it with that hatchet, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, and you just need to keep in mind which stance you need to be in at which time for your own combinations, and you do that by looking at your crosshair. Crosshair is spiky, you're good, you're doing massive damage, and, everything's great. You're going to get your ass kicked if you get hit. If that starts to weird you out, you go into blue, you get the little shieldy thing around your crosshair, and, you got a little shieldy thing in front of you, and you feel a little bit, a little better. This is what I do in the open world all day long. Like, if I'm up against some sketchy shit, I'll just go blue mode with a leech and crosscut, like, as you can see, trenchant recovery, leech and crosscut. I like trenchant recovery more, but if you can have both, why not? And you just sit there with the trenchant, behind that little shield, and you can just take out so many things and like no con armor. It's amazing, and it does work well in dungeons. It's just not a high damage go to, but it is, you know, it's a very valid. I still want to be safe and do damage playstyle. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the great sword. I hope that kind of gives you something to steal, helps you in some way.